Fee, for you specifically, I mean, just the way you were able to catapult last year. I mean, people in Minnesota knew the kind of talent you had, but to really become that superstar, how are you feeling like building off of that year? Defensive Player of the Year, second MVP, but still that fuel to keep taking it another notch higher.
I think it's just the nature of like a competitive atmosphere that I'm in and the competitiveness of myself. You always want to keep building. Even though I had a good year last year, there's always things that you can improve on, things I wanted to get better at from last year, things I worked really hard at in the off season and at Unrivaled. So I'm really looking to implement that for this year and excited to get the year started.
Yeah, Fee, what are specifically some of the things you were working on, and how did Unrivaled, even in a 3-on-3 situation, how did that help you improve those things?
One thing I really wanted to get better at was ball handling. Not necessarily to be like a guard where I'm trying to split people, but just to have a better feel for the ball so I can be stronger in the paint. And then, of course, like every year, my three, just getting really consistent at that. That's something that I've been working on for years and something I continue to work on, where I know that the more I can be consistent from three, the more it'll open up where I want to be, which is the paint.
Last season at this time, you were talking about how excited you were to have Courtney in here as like a true point guard. And you had a full season, all of Unrivaled. What's that relationship like, and how different is it this year, just knowing Courtney as a person and how she plays?
It's really nice. I feel like I've been playing with her for years already. She's kind of that personality where she makes you feel like really welcome pretty quickly. But I'm excited because last year, I mean, like you said, I was just meeting Courtney, like just playing with her for the first time, and you have to start at zero, just seeing where people like the ball, where she likes, where she likes to score, things like that. And now we're starting from such a higher place, especially because we played together at Unrivaled too, where we're just really comfortable with each other. We know where we like to be on the court, what actions we like. And so we're really hitting the ground running with that this year.
Just to ask about another player who was new last year and is one of the leaders of the team, Alana Smith, obviously had her best year as a pro. And there'll obviously be a lot of, leaning on her a lot again this year. How have you seen her game grow over the short time that you guys have played together, and how much better do you think she can still become?
It's grown a lot. I think one thing I was really I didn't realize about Lane was her 3-point shooting ability. I remembered how tough she was in the paint because playing against her in Chicago, that's one of the things I told Cheryl, we need to get Lan because unassumingly, she's so hard to guard in the post. You didn't hear about her a lot. She was a little bit underrated, but I knew every time I played her, it was a really tough matchup. And those are the kind of people you want on your team. But I wasn't aware of how well that she's able to space the floor, and her decision-making with passing was also something I just didn't notice before. So that was awesome and something I've seen her grow in a lot.
Coach said the other day that you have more of an edge to you now than you've ever had. She sensed. Do you agree with that? And what does that kind of mean to you? I mean, because when you talk about taking your game to the next level, sometimes it's a mental approach too, right?
Yeah, I think honestly, it's all mental. I really believe sports are like 80-20 mental mindset and ability. And I do think there's been a shift. I mean, I've talked ad nauseum about last year, but I think just using it to my advantage, honestly, where it does give me that leg up where I want to push just that little bit more. I want to win just that little bit more and that's what it feels like. That's what it felt like when I was playing in Unrivaled. And I want to continue to keep that same mentality coming into the W season.
Fee, we know what the team goal is. Obviously get back to the finals. What's some of your individual goals that you set for yourself to challenge yourself and push yourself during the season this year?
Honestly, I haven't thought about the individual goal. I'm so focused on the team goal, but I mean, I think it's going to be the same as always. I'm going out trying to help the team win, and that other stuff really comes after that. You have to first focus on the team winning. But Cheryl said last year, if you're, in the conversation of Defensive Player of the Year, we have a chance of winning. So I definitely want to keep that up for sure. The defense is something that I know needs to stay, and I want to be in the conversation for that again this year.
Fee, you've talked about your relationship with Lindsay before. Just how nice is it to have her in camp, and how much is she kind of helping on the background of just getting people even more comfortable with Cheryl's offense?
Yeah, it's awesome having Way here. I mean, just someone who's won so many championships and won them at this organization that we're playing at now is just so valuable. And you can see why she's one of the best point guards ever, just the way that she's explaining things, the things that she sees on the court. it's really cool to kind of see it from her perspective in the way that she's able to teach us that. So it's been really nice having her here.
I can't remember who it was. It was either BB or Lindsay talking about just how important unselfishness is with this team. And I was interested when you were talking about just that mental component too, and how that's still such a cornerstone for you as well, even with, your career ascending, different accolades and more eyeballs on you, why that is still such an important piece to have while you still have that fire and like kind of that lethal finishing mentality and balancing all of that for the good of everyone.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it just comes from, if the team is not doing well, you're not going to get those individual accolades anyway. So what you're so selfish about, you're never going to even get it if you're not working for your team and helping them win. So the individual accolades aren't even my goal. The team stuff is my goal. And then again, just that the other stuff comes naturally. But what I want is, a championship. So if I get those other things, it doesn't really matter.
Thank you, Fee.
Thanks.
Bye. Okay, we'll start with questions for Court.
How we doing?
Bro, doing good.
Good. Just talk about your relationship with Fee. Obviously, you guys been together now whole season, unrivaled. Just talk about that chemistry you guys have been building together, and then also what you brought into this new season as well.
Yeah, like you said, I think building that chemistry at Unrivaled, obviously we had a great season last year. So being able to carry that on into Unrivaled, and now we're here. So we definitely been building up our chemistry. 2 peas in a pod.
This is something that Lindsay was also talking about. The difference of having already a year of Cheryl and her system under your belt and how that is changing maybe your approach or confidence into year 2 when you've already, had that point guard experience with her, and also having Lindsay Whalen there too to help guide you through and continuing to build on that.
Yeah, for sure. I was just telling Wade yesterday, she gonna be a game changer for me. Especially when we get kind of deep into our run and teams start scouting and knowing the things that I do well, and to be able to just look over and tell her like, hey, what you seeing? What can I do? Cause she's won it 4 times. So to have her in my corner now, to be able to just tell me those little small details of where I can find an advantage, I mean, it's gonna be a game changer for me for sure.
Courtney, what are some of the individual skills that you wanted to work on in the offseason, and how did going to Unrivaled help you develop them?
Yeah, honestly, I think just getting my handle tighter. I think they did an amazing job with bringing in player development as our coaches. Like sometimes it would be aggravating, but for the most part, as far as like the practice side of it, I think it really gave me a feel of kind of like how the NBA guys get their offseason to just get better. I think that's kind of what that felt like. It wasn't just a bunch of like play. It was like, all right, I can really work on my handle. I can really work on being intentional about getting my threes up. So I think them bringing in player development and our practices just being a lot of working on individual things. I think that changed everything for me.
You were talking about this a little bit yesterday, but you've now been with Fee for a year through one entire WNBA season, an unrivaled season. You know the edge that she's bringing into this year. What are we about to see from her? I mean, what's the league about to see from her, and what's possible for her?
Y'all about to see an MVP season and go get a ring. I mean, she got everything that she need to go get it done. So if she don't get it done, that's on her. Because it's hers to lose, in my opinion. I think she got all the pieces around her that complement her super well. I think like I said, we got that chemistry from last year, so it's kind of like, girl, the ball is in your court. Now you just got to put it in the basket.
When I'm writing this year, can I call you a point guard?
For sure. I told you, give me a year. We here now. This
Appreciate
next year,
you.
we here now. You can call me PG Court.
And then Court, you've always been a good rebounder. You've always been a solid defender, but Way was just up here talking about how she has been especially impressed on your defensive reads.
Yeah.
Is that like a point of emphasis this year to just be an even better defender?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I ain't gonna say it's a point of emphasis, but I just don't ever want to be the weakest link out there. So if that means I gotta do whatever I've been doing, I just don't want people to feel like they're gonna go at me. I done had some games where folks want to play with me. I can't have nobody playing with me this season.
Courtney, what have your first impressions of playing with Carly Samuelson been like? I know it's only been 3 days, but what has it been like to play with her so far at the start of training camp, and how do you see that chemistry building with her?
Oh man, I've been loving it. I mean, she's a knockdown shooter. Anytime I can, her defender give her a step, it's going up, and she don't hesitate either, and I love it. So any chance I get, and I mean, obviously it's just gonna help everybody, right? You spacing the floor, and I'm coming off of a pick and roll. That help can't come now, because if you come, boom, it's right there wide open. So, man, she gonna be a major key to what it is we doing.
What's the mentality going into the season? Obviously, you're trying to get back to the finals. What's kind of your message as a leader to the team this year to kind of get everybody going?
Yeah, I mean, I think just enjoy the process, enjoy the journey, because that's where you build the chemistry. That's where, when you get in those tough moments and you maybe are being coached hard, you're not taking it personal, right? Because you've been locked in since day one. I think that's always been our motto. Like from the beginning, we stacking days. We stacking days. So then when we get to that point, now we ready for it. We built for it. So just letting everybody know, like, enjoy this journey, man, because when it's over, it's over. You can't turn, you can't go back and wish that you could do it better. So just take advantage of it right now. This right here is where we start building brick by brick.
Awesome. Thank you, Court.
Appreciate y'all. For sure.
Hello.
All right, we'll get right into questions for Lan.
Lan, last year coming here as a new player to the Lynx, just how different is it having that year under your belt, knowing Cheryl's system, knowing Fee? Kind of what's your feeling this year coming in?
I think I look at last year as kind of like a block to build off of. Like we were so successful last year, but we don't want to do exactly the same thing as we did last year. So kind of building off of the foundation that we put down.
How excited are you to be back in camp? I mean, last year, I remember after the Olympic break, you saying you just missed these girls so much. What's that excitement level this year?
Yeah, I mean, I spent 5 months in China, and then I had a little bit of time at home. But like, even when I was in China and stuff, I was like, the anticipation to come back here was high. And it's always good vibes. Like these guys are like family to me. So coming back here.
You said last year was like, or using last year as a building block. What about for you personally, when you were able to, really flourish, discover a lot more in your game, display a lot more of your game? How do you continue to use that for yourself and your personal development?
Yeah, I think the goal is to always be improving. I think I've said this a few times, but I'm playing out of position as a center. So like making sure that I can still play to my strengths as someone who's maybe not always been a traditional 5. So yeah, just focusing on improving on what I did last year.
From a confidence level, does it help too? Is it different maybe from a mindset perspective when you enter camp here in year 2 as well?
Yeah, definitely. Just knowing that like I had success last year with this group and then coming into this year with the same group, I think definitely helps build confidence. And we have high expectations as a team, and I think I have high expectations for myself as well.
Lan, you accomplished a lot of things on the court last year. Off the court, I know something you were working towards was working towards a grad degree. Curious what the status of that is, if you finished or if you're going to have to be balancing WNBA season with the homework for another year.
Yeah, I wish it was finished. Oh my God. No, I'm smack bang in the middle of writing a research paper at the moment. So I am in my methods section, right? My research is on the susceptibility to health misinformation. Yes, yes, it is.
You played with Carly at Stanford. Now you guys are kind of reunited. What about her game has impressed you in terms of what has grown the most? How is she a different player maybe than and how is she the same than when you played with her in college?
Yeah, I would say like one of Carly's strengths that has always been apparent is her IQ. She's just a smart player. She's always in the right place at the right time. She makes the right reads, the right decisions. And I think her her ability to play make with the ball has improved so much. Like just her handle she can do with the ball in her hands has definitely improved since Stanford days. And I'm super, super keen. Carly, love her person and as a player.
Awesome. Thank you, Lan.
Too easy.
All right, we'll get right into questions. Wants to start?
Okay. BC, you had kind of a breakout season last year. Just what are you looking to do this season to kind of build on that?
I mean, a little bit of everything. I think continuing, being confident every game and doing what I need to do to help the team win games. Stepping into whatever role the coaches need from me, whatever my teammates need from me. I think, I've been well known to be versatile and defend everyone and make good decisions on offense. So continuing to be who I am and continue to get better. I go overseas every year to do that and hopefully come back even better this summer.
Last year at camp, T, Court, Lan, we're all kind of new to this team. How has the camp been different just with more consistency with that main rotation?
It's funny. It feels like it's like another practice day. Like we already know each other so well. We know reminding of the play calls and things is kind of like reminding us of that. But there's so much familiarity with it. And I think we're like 10 steps ahead of where we were at the beginning of training camp last year, just in terms of knowing each other, knowing what's expected of us, what Cheryl and the coaches expect of us. So we're starting in a really confident place, I think, just knowing each other and trying to build on what we did last year.
Kind of on that same point, you got to play with Carly overseas this year as well. How does that familiarity going to help you guys continue to grow here in the WNBA, and just what is that partnership like?
Yeah, it was a quick week we had together overseas, but I knew as soon as when we were teammates, she was still in Washington at the time, but we got along really well. Obviously, respect her as a player in her journey in the W, kind of fighting to stay on a roster, lots of hardship contracts, and then officially got a real contract in Washington, which was deserved. She worked for that, and she's at a point now where she's going to make an impact on our team. Obviously, losing Chechi in the expansion draft is hard, but I think Carly will fit into that role, come in, fire away. She's a efficient knockdown shooter, fun to play with, smart player, gritty, plays defense, and just a really good addition to the locker room too. Just a great person, someone that fits in really well.
In what ways do you want to build off of last year? I know there's coming into the season and wanting to add certain parts to your game, but also just the confidence that went along with working your way into that starting lineup, becoming such a key, player on this team, and how that's fueling you, but also giving you that base of confidence too.
Yeah, I think, some things, obviously continuing to work on being aggressive off the dribble. Obviously, everyone knows I'm a 3-point shooter first, continuing to do that, do what I do well, but also expanding my game and being a threat in multiple areas. And then the leadership piece too, I think I can help out being more vocal, especially with the second group and the younger players, just stepping into that role a little bit more. It's my 7th year here. I know what's expected here. I know the ropes a little bit. So stepping into that more, I think I can help be another voice on the court.
Wanted to ask too about Fee coming off, it's just a superstar year, and what you feel like, what you're seeing so far, that people should expect from her, fans, the rest of the league as well, what she's capable of putting up this year.
I think Fee is the best player in the league, defensively, offensively, how she impacts the game, every single possession. I think you're going to see the Fee we've seen, multiple years. Obviously, she's continued to get better and better every year. I think she'll take another step on the court. I don't even know how that's possible because she's already so good. But I think there's a fire in all of us this year, just how last year ended. So there's that little extra spark, that little extra tenacity, every single possession, every single game. I think we all have that in us, and I think you'll see that on the court this year.
Bridget, Napheesa Heidemann from the Minnesota Lynx. What are you most looking forward to this season besides potentially winning a championship? Like, what are you just most excited for and looking forward to?
I'm really excited to play again with Napheesa Heidemann. I've missed her so much. It was a long off season without her, but I'm really, really excited to be back on the court with her and all my other teammates.
And just a follow-up question for that. What do you love most about Napheesa Heidemann?
Oh, there's so many things. It's just hard to name one.
She sounds amazing.
Yes, she's really cool.
Thank you so much, Bridget.
Go eat your pizza.
All right, we can end it there. Thank you, BC.
Thank you.